Değerli katılımcılarımız, hepinize iyi günler diliyorum. Toplantımıza hoş geldiniz. Bildiğiniz gibi bu toplantıları Ege Hazır Giyim ve Konfeksiyon İhracatçıları Birliği bünyesinde ayda bir kez yapmaya gayret ediyoruz. E, Bu ara ben kendimi çok kısa tanıtayım. Profesör Doktor Hüseyin Kadıoğlu, Ege Üniversitesi Tekstil Mühendisliği Bölümü öğretim üyesiyim. Ve bugün de bu toplantının moderatörlüğünü yapmaya çalışacağım. Bugünkü konuşmacımız Sayın Profesör Doktor Stefan Schlichter, Almanya Augsburg Üniversitesi'nde öğretim üyesi ve konuşma konusu döngüsellik yolunda tekstil sektörü. Ben birazdan kendisine söz vereceğim ama söz vermeden önce Profesör Schlichter'i birkaç cümleyle size tanıtmak istiyorum. Kısa bir özgeçmişi var elimde. Hemen süratle onu okuyacağım. Profesör Doktor Stefan Schlichter 1982 yılında RWTH Aachen Üniversitesi Makine Mühendisliği bölümünden mezun oldu. Ek bir araştırma döneminin ardından yüksek dinamik dokuma konusunda uzmanlaştı ve 1987 yılında doktora tezini tamamladı. Mesleki kariyerinde makine sektörünün farklı pozisyonlarında uzmanlaştı ve Türüşler firmasında araştırma ve geliştirme alanında, daha sonra da genel müdür olarak Oerlikon'da, nonwoven makinelerinde, daha sonra Altefa Solutions'ta çalıştı. Global makine işinde yaklaşık 30 yıllık bir deneyimin ardından Almanya'da kompozit geri kazanma, yapay zeka ve tekstillerin geri kazanması üzerine yoğunlaşan yeni bir enstitü olan ITA Augsburg'u kurmaya başladı. Profesör Schlichter 2022 yılında ITA Augsburg Enstitüsü ile Augsburg'daki Uygulamalı Bilimler Teknik Üniversitesi arasında bir işbirliği sonucunda Recycling Atelier isimli dünya çapında mekanik geri kazanma üzerine ilk pilot tesisi kurmuştur. ITA Augsburg'un genel müdürlüğü pozisyonundan emekli olduktan sonra şu anda THA Augsburg'da pilot tesislerde sorumlu müdür olarak çalışmalarını sürdürmektedir. Ben şimdi sözü Profesör Doktor Schlichter'e bırakmak istiyorum ve güzel bir toplantı olacağını ümit ediyorum. Evet Profesör Schlichter, söz sizin.
So, thank you very much, Professor Kadoglu, for the introduction. I haven't understood all the words, but I'm sure you have given a good introduction. You know my background, and today I would like to share with you a presentation about sustainability or circular textiles. First of all, I will go to my presentation. Now you should be able to see it. So now it's working on the. Oh, at the moment you don't see anything as I do, but hopefully that will change. Okay. I try it again. So. Now it should work. I'm not sure if you see the right screen. Can you give me a sign if you see the right screen or only the...
Yes.
This is better? Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks a lot. My speech today is under the title Textiles on the Way to Circularity. As you've heard in the introduction, I am responsible for the recycling atelier in Augsburg, but I will try to give you today some background. My speech will be in will reflect certain items. The first is what is the motivation? Why is textile circularity necessary? And this is added then by some facts around circularity. I will show you some technologies which are available on the market and concepts. And finally, I will show some practices, what we do at the moment in the recycling atelier, and finally summarize. And I'm happy to receive some questions if it is possible. So let's start with the motivation for textile circularity. The first is this not very nice picture, and with a citation of Ursula von der Leyen. She's the Commission President of the European Union. And following the Paris Climate Agreement and the so-called Green Deal in the European Union, there is increasing need to do something to switch to renewable energy, to hydrogen, to create greater energy efficient. And the other thing is also focus on the raw material balance. When we look at textile, we see we have a change of typical raw materials in the last 200 years. Initially, there was a lot of endemic fibers like wool, fiber from different animals. In the 19th century, there was a big move to use cotton as a production grows more to industrial scale. Cotton was for 150 years real dominating the market. Then we had additional fact that we could be able to create raw materials from wood, like cellulose, viscose fibers, and so on. It was then between the First and the Second World War, we had a change to also coal-based chemical products. And in the 50s, the actual dominating fibers started to grow, which is petrol-based fibers like polyester, polypropylene, polyamide, and so on. The question is, are we now moving into a era of bioeconomical materials? This is, of course, something we have to see. What you can learn from this is textile is a very variable raw material. So we can offer in any segments in which it is needed fibers to represent the actual raw material basis. At the moment, when we talk on a very general level, we talk about renewable carbon, the carbon footprint. This is what we always hear. And if we are willing to have a better carbon footprint, there are three ways. The one is to use more biomass. So renewable materials which grow and can be harvested and grow again, so that you have a more or less eternal raw material base. The second is to capture the CO2, which is reducing the footprint. Even natural fibers like cotton have a very high CO2 footprint because of all the industrial harvesting methods, the growing, the machines, the water for which is added to the cotton in the growing section. That costs in the end CO2 because energy is used to do it.
And you see a third column is recycling. So one times used material can re-enter the market, so it is not lost. We have grown up in a time where the raw material is something where we see we have ending resources and they will not come again. This is not true unless we not destroy the raw materials. So if you burn oil, it is gone. It has only created some energy, maybe some warmth and so on. But if you have raw material like textiles or batteries or whatever, this is not lost. And now we will see there will be a different way of looking at it. For example, in Germany, we are not able to grow cotton. But if we would use all the cotton which is going to old textiles in Germany, we could replace cotton, fresh cotton, in a range which would immediately lift us to the position of being the fifth most important cotton producer. So we could produce by using our raw materials the same value, the same volume in cotton as India is, for example, growing. So it is a change of mind. We have to realize it. Raw material and recycling is the base to have a better balance of raw materials. But actually, it looks completely different. We have a linear economy, so we produce something, we use it, and we throw it away. That is a normal way of a lot of products, and unfortunately, very true for uh, textile. You see in the left, there are some figures around that only 1% of the used textiles will later be used in textiles again. Okay, they may be an interim use for second hand, but finally only 1% of the fibers are recycled in a fiber to fiber recycling. This is an amazing low figure, and that's the reason why we think we can change something in that. The question is, why is it like that? Recycling is an old technology. It is known in certain variances. The problem is, in the past, no one could earn really money with selling products based on uh, recycling. And there are some facts around it. We have, of course, compared to plastics or other materials, we have a high material diversity. We have a lot of different materials we use. We have a lot of quantities in areas which are not collected nowadays. For example, technical textiles, hygiene textiles are not even collected to bring it back to a second life. We have fast fashion as a driver, or now even ultra fast fashion. We have, in addition to that, so more and more clothes are used. In 15 years, Germany has doubled the consumption of textiles per person. So this is something, and it's still growing on. And we have 25% overproduction in textiles. All this definitely is something which cannot stay like it is. We have to learn to use our raw material resources much better. We have countries like Germany where we have a high collection rate. 1.6 million tons of old clothes are collected in Germany, but only 300,000 of that are sorted. The rest is going to what is shown there today. Three-quarters of the used textiles are not really recycled, but go for chemical recycling, which is a nicer word for burning, and to landfilling. And this is something we have to change. The question is, when we talk about it, we have to see we need a real circular economy. In a circular economy, nearly everyone is expecting that has to be a circle. Now you see this is not a circle because this lying aid or the sign for eternity is something we use to make clear that there are different use cycles in textiles. And the one is you can reuse it. The second-hand clothes is a sector which is really growing in Central Europe. The second-hand shops, especially for young people, are not anymore located in the suburbs. They have shops in the center of the cities. It is something which is accepted by a growing part of our population. But after a certain times, even when you use it twice or repair it, it is coming, and that is showing here to the next cycle where it is recycled. And there you see mechanical or chemical recycling. I will talk about that later. And then it's going back to use. So in a fundamental aspect, you could use it as a sort of eternal cycle, which is going through different cycles, but is always reusing the clothing. That is our vision. Maybe some things around it which you have to obey when you talk about circularity. The first is you have what you see here, a pyramid of different types of use. And this pyramid is the base for nearly all legal rules for waste. So the European waste regulation is based on that, and a lot of waste regulations in other countries too. And this is showing that you have preferred ways of reworking or reusing your material, and you have to obey it. You cannot just switch to recycling when you have not thought about if there is a way of prevention, if there is a way of reuse, and so on. And the prevention starts with a very personal thing is we call it the wardrobe study. This is what is showing there very nicely is what you may need for your life. So not too many clothes, but this is a reality. The reality is showing that we have much more clothes than we really need, that the average is only 3 to 4 use cycles. And this is something which is not good, and especially also under the aspect of quality is not good, because I mentioned that we have in Germany have doubled our textile consumption in 15 years. But the real sad fact about is that we have not paid any more for that. So we have paid the same amount of money for the double of the production, which means in the end that textile value has decreased. And this cannot be in the interest of anyone in the textile circle. And therefore we have to work to create better quality, and better quality combined also with a better economical and ecological balance. The second is reuse. Reuse is selling clothes again. Of course, you have signs of use. This needs to be characterized. If you have damage in your trouser in the right position, for example, at the knee, you can sell it as vintage. If it is in the wrong position, you have to throw it away. So it's a question how to do it. Of course, there are also reuse and upcycling values like repair. Frankly speaking, this is something for the psychological effects, but it will not necessarily have an economic balance. So we will not start to repair our socks, for example. That is probably not the future. And then we come to recycling. And recycling is a main aspect I would like to share with you today. The first is where is the recycling coming from? This is a balance based on German figures. You see, besides the 1.6 million tons of textiles which are collected in boxes, you have these containers where you put your used clothes, then they are collected, sorted, and can be reused. But this is 1.6 million. And if you see, in total, we have 3.5. So we have more than double of the clothing and garment-based textiles in technical textiles, hygiene, construction site waste, textile floor coverings, other production waste. So we have a lot of categories, and we have not even started to collect it. So there's a big potential. Of course, these figures, if you would make the same figures for Turkey or another country, could look a little bit different. This is based for Germany, as Germany is very strong in technical textiles. But definitely there is more, and we have a law in Germany and also in Europe starting 1st of January next year, where we have the a law which is saying that textile waste has to be sorted. That means all textile waste, and that is something which is creating much more old textile material available for the future. If we look at the ways of recycling, I would like to use this piece. In terms of question, we come to some of the facts later. We have, after collecting and sorting, the waste disposal is already forbidden in Germany. It is forbidden in most of the countries of the European Union, and latest 26 countries like Bulgaria, Romania, who have not followed that, we have to follow that due to European law. The thermal use of old textiles, textiles have a very high caloric value, so it burns very nicely. So the waste thermal plants like it. But due to the fact the European Union is following the program, it should stop until 2030. For the rest, you have different recycling methods. They are the ones which go based on physical and others based on chemical. The physical is the higher rated value. It is mechanical recycling and thermomechanical recycling. We have solvent-based separation, which is in between, and the rest is the chemical, so thermochemical recycling or depolymerization. What you have to see when you look at the status of nowadays, the mechanical recycling is ready to be used. You have, especially in Turkey, a lot of recycling plants already which use recycled materials. Thermomechanical is only available for thermoplastic materials like polyester or polypropylene and others, but it is not completely, not all problems are completely solved around that. And the chemical recycling, a few of you have heard the problems for Renewcell in Sweden, which has to stop and has failed for bankruptcy. It will go on, but it is still not ready for the market. Now there are certain rules which you have to obey. And the thing is, first of all, my colleague and former boss, Thomas Gries from ITA Aachen, has formulated the fiber gets shorter with every cycle. That is something that is a law which you cannot change. So when you go to mechanical recycling, the fiber values, you can talk about the damage, but the damage is there and the damage cannot be stopped. So you have to look at it, how to react on that. And these are showing 3 different concepts in which you can use it and still create reasonable products. The first is what we call cascade application. So you have a high quality fiber in a lingerie or in a shirt. And when you use it, you take, and you want to make a shirt again, then you have a problem that the fibers are shorter, so you get a product which is not on the same quality level. So one way is to use it for one application lower, so where you don't need these high fiber lengths or very fine fibers, so you can go from a shirt, use it in the second life as jeans, use it in the third life in isolation, and by that you keep a certain value. The other one is you can correct it and go upwards again or keep your quality. This number 3 is when you blend it with longer fibers. Longer fibers can, for example, be blending textile waste recycled with virgin fibers. So have a 50-50 blend, 50% textile fibers from recycling and 50% from virgin. And the other thing is that you find ways to separate short fibers. For example, the processing in textile, mechanical textile recycling, following after the tearing machine, you anyway create more short fibers, which go into the waste. You can increase it. For example, Rita has proposed to use combing machines for that. The question is the economical balance is right for that, but there are certain concepts to take away more short fibers to have a better product. So you see, there are ways to react on it. It is not that you have to accept it. Of course, a lot of people think the best way is to use depolymerization. That is the advantage of chemical fibers. The dream, you put in any sort of material, you can cut it as short as it is. You use chemical recycling. You have a product from which you can spin even filament fibers. But also there, the molecular length, so the average polymerization rate of the fibers is not coming to be better. So also here you have to work on that. You have to have special phase of post-condensation. You need new polymerization methods. So it is not ready to use. And you have a higher energy and consumption and so on. So no way is easy, as you probably know it from a lot of other applications. To summarize it, you have to find a better balance. In the past, you only have to find a balance between economic and technical values. Technical is when you want to produce a shirt, you know exactly what is the average length, the average strength you need, and so on. And you have to find the economic way to get the best balance. Now, you also have to add the ecological facts. So if you transport the fibers far away from it, for example, for sorting, which is too expensive to do it in Central Europe, then you have an ecological misbalance, which you cannot ignore. And this is also based for the European Union laws that the export of textile waste will be banned until 2030. And that is giving a need to find this balance more in the market where you where the textile fibers are coming from. We have examples in which we already have reached this. This is an example from a technical field. You may know from carbon, you make carbon fiber composites, and then you can recycle it. You can, by pyrolysis, take away the matrix, keep the fibers, make a non-woven out of the fiber. We call it web-based composite and re-enter the market. And we have seen in this aspect, and that was something when we created our recycling atelier, which we have learned before, that this works, means we have found that this concept is already in the market. So now coming to some practical results, what are we doing? What is the concept behind it? And this is making it more practical, more realistic. The idea to create the recycling atelier was coming from the fact that we have to create new products. It's not done by creating new processes. We need new products. We have first look at the material and then define a new product. And this product can be in a different sector. It's not following this cradle to cradle philosophy in a very strong sense. From a shirt, you don't have to create a new shirt. If you create a new product and it is different, but you can earn money, it is much better. The question is, you all know, you're textile specialists, you know how many machines you need for producing textiles. So the fact that we have is on a university base, we don't have the space, not the money to make big labs. So we come to the concept of we call maker's lab or a micro factory. So we created a very small process, which is on the one way able to work with a few kilograms up to relatively low amounts compared to the production, but on the other hand, gives back all the manufacturing settings which you have used. That is in the normal process. This is the maker's lab. Our clear goal is go for upcycling, higher quality. The problem of recycling mechanically in the moment is the low quality. Of course, we also need to look at design for recycling. We have some products which are not ready to be recycled today. And we have to keep the knowledge. We are a university. So our task is to bring this knowledge to people we can train for the future. This is, as you can see, a short view on this recycling atelier. You will see some pictures later on. So you see different stations in which we can see the product. So we start, number one, with material analytics. Then we have a station for sorting, then cutting and tearing, the textile processing, the spinning or non-woven operation, product design, and the learning factory. The problem in Germany in 2, 3, 4 years ago was that there was no public money, no sponsoring from the government. So we based our recycling atelier on a partnership of partners who are interested in that. You see here, they are internationally accepted companies from the machine business like Trütscher, Saurer, Uster, Dilo, Omi, some teas, some manufacturers of textile. Otto is a spinning mill. FFF Group is a non-woven company. We have Altex as a tearing company. We have quality people like Uster. And we have the one of the biggest collecting and sorting companies in Europe, Tekstil. And it's all operated by ITA, Augsburg, as an independent institute, and the Technical University of Augsburg, supported by other research activities and by a lot of associations. And I will show you just a few slides what we are doing, that you get an idea. The worst one is sorting. Sorting is something you see on the left side. The lady is sorting it. She cuts the sack of material, and then she throws one to the left, one to the right, one to the other direction. And this is done step by step. And but the problem is it's only done by manual, and this cannot be the future. So we are working on an automatic sorting process. And we are using artificial intelligence for that. You see here is a project in which a textile is placed at the moment. We are on the phase from the static to the dynamic behavior, so we can even move. And we can automatically, by comparing with data from internet applications from others, we can detect if it is a shirt, a trouser, whatever, if it is woven or knitted, and if it has buttons or other disturbing parties. And this is all done by image analysis based on artificial intelligence. So we are able to use very high-tech methods. Another thing is what process you take. You have, and that is also can be done in the recycling art. You can choose a way to yarn by, after tearing, going to the carding, drawing, roving, ring spinning, open end, whatever. But you can also go on the non-woven way. We have a compact line for non-woven production available, and you can probably, or you have to probably do both, because due to the high waste, it is always a combination of yarn manufacturing and non-woven. So we use both to get a better economical balance. This is something only showing design for recycling. So we can make parts which specially apply on the facts, for example, that we use non-woven. So this is a coverage for air transportation vehicle, and we use parts where we have higher stiffness. We have parts with higher strength, and that all comes from the non-woven. So we learn to adapt our manufacturing technologies to the material we use. And here, for this carbon, glass, and other composites, we have, you see, already a lot of different applications available. The other thing is, when we talk about design for recycling, we have definitely too many products with too many materials which are not necessary. If you see, this is an outdoor jacket. You see, you have polyester, you have polyamide, you have POM, you have much different stuff in it. And of course, it is used, some for price reasons, some others for technical reasons. And this is the worst thing which can happen for recycling. We need, if we can use the recycling, we need to find a new balance. On the one hand, we have the material efficiency. On the others, we have material mix. And we have the recyclability, and that not always goes in the same direction. So we have to learn how to balance it better. So really to see and look at the products, is it necessary to make the zipper from a completely different material? Or can we at least use, when the outer is polyamide, then use polyamide for the zipper too? This is something which may change the economics, but this is necessary to have better products. Of course, the economic value balancing is very important, because everyone thinks, okay, this will cost more. Not necessarily. There is a study from McKinsey done from Euratex, and it has shown that if you do it consequently with all the right measures, it not necessarily needs to become more expensive. A little bit, yes, but in a range which can be accepted by the customer. Finally, the training aspect. The training aspect is what we have there, the learning factory. We use this training for industrial stakeholders like workers, but also students, trainees, going down to kids. Children have to learn it very early how to use these new ecological knowledge, and we have to use new methods. It's not writing a book and publishing. Who's reading a book today? So you need to find new ways by virtual reality, other ways, gaming aspects, to bring this knowledge to the final consumer. Okay, summarizing, what have we learned today? This is a very complex picture, because it's showing you have a lot of different buttons which you can push and change it. And this is something we have to learn, and we have to learn it in a cooperation. So one of the very important point is we need to talk more. The communication about new recycling technologies is a key issue. That is what we need to learn. When we come to the technical things, we have certain actions. We have to work on other take-back systems. We have to work on automatic sorting. You've seen what we do there. We have to optimize the mechanical recycling, because that is the technology which is available. Of course, we have to work on chemical recycling, but we have to realize it always will be more expensive, and the technology is not ready for industrial size in general. In special cases, yes, but not in general. And then we also have to work on alternate technologies and thematic recycling technologies, creating for hydrogen. These are things. So there's a lot of activities in which we can improve it. Hopefully, I've given you an overview, and you have maybe learned some new facts. We are ready for taking your questions and also contacts. I would like to mention that my colleague Mesocetin is here. Also in the group, Mesocetin has taken the position as the managing director of the Institute for Textile Technology in Augsburg. We are working very closely together. I have retired in that position, and I'm now concentrating on the aspects of the Technical University. Happy to receive your question, and thank you for your attention.
Evet, Profesör Schlichter, bu değerli sunumunuz için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Gerçekten geri kazanım ile ilgili çok önemli hususlara değindiniz. Bir kısmını hatırladık, bir kısmı yeni fikirler olarak karşımıza çıktı. Çok teşekkürler tekrar. Evet, ben şimdi katılımcılarımızdan varsa sorularını Profesör Schlichter'e yöneltmelerini rica ediyorum. Evet, sorularınızı bekliyoruz. Bunu yazılı olarak bize iletebilirsiniz. Biz tercümanımız vasıtasıyla Profesör Schlichter'e sorularınızı aktaracağız. Evet, katılımcılarımız belki sorularını hazırlarken ben moderatör olarak küçük bir soru hemen yönetmek istiyorum mikrofon önümde olduğu için müsaadenizle. Şimdi son slaytlarınızdan bir tanesinde maliyetler konusuna biraz değindiniz. Burada tüketici fiyatlarının bir miktar daha, eğer yanlış anlamadıysam, %10 civarında yüksek olabileceğinden bahsettiniz. Acaba bu yüksek olmanın sebepleri, belli başlı sebepleri nelerdir? Ve bunların düşürülmesi yolunda bir takım faaliyetler olabilir mi? Böyle bir ışık var mı? Çünkü tüketici tamam bir miktar fazla ödeyebilir ama genelde belki beklenti geri kazanılmış bir ürünün daha düşük fiyatla piyasaya sunulması. Bu konuda biraz daha detaylı bilgi verebilirseniz memnun olurum.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to answer that question. Definitely, the first problem we have is if you enter with recycled products, lower quality, then you cannot earn money, and the price is lower, but your margin is also reduced. So you, first of all, if you want to create a shirt, you have to fulfill the requirements of a shirt. And then the question is in what way you can reach it. That we have higher costs at the moment mainly is due to the fact that we have little volume, that we don't know
all the different ways of doing it, because in the end you have only in mechanical recycling, you have only one additional process, which is the tearing. But you have to learn how to do your setting on the ring frame, how to do your setting maybe in weaving, and very important, you have to find solutions for the final product. For example, we have heard from Renewcell in Sweden. They were taking back the cotton from polyester cotton blends, but they didn't find a way to use the polyester. This is in average 50%. That cannot work. So you have to look at the complete system. Of course, at the moment, due to low volume, it is looking for a higher price market, which can be accepted. There is an increasing part of the European population who are aware of that, and they are willing to spend a little bit more, not 25%, but maybe 10%, or at least showing that they are not expecting discounts. At the moment, the problem is we have a lot of green washing and bashing, and I have seen with one, I don't say the name, but I've seen one aspect. There was, if you look at the fast fashion, ultra fast fashion providers, they show, okay, we have jeans for €6.99, which shows to everyone that cannot work. And then they say, now also adding recycling. And this has to stop. We have to communicate honestly and with real facts. And I think that the consumer is ready for that. And then there is a market where you can earn money. That is finally important, because we have to stop the devaluation of textiles. Textile has decreased in value. We need to convert it back. And there can be one rule: spend, buy 30% less clothes, but pays the same amount. Then we have a better value for the customer. Will not pay more, but he's spending it to fewer articles, which he is using more, and in the end, that can pay back. So economic is not impossible, but it is a balance, as I told it, between technical fulfillment, ecological fulfillment, and economic.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum.
Thank you.
Evet, değerli katılımcılarımız, sizlerden de sorularınızı bekliyoruz. Şu ana kadar görebildiğim kadarıyla herhangi bir soru yazılmadı. Bir tane var. Acaba büyütebilir miyiz? Evet, bir sorumuz var. Soru şöyle, ben Türkçe olarak okuyorum. Çevirmenimizden İngilizceye çevirmesini rica edeceğiz. Tekstil hazır giyimde geri dönüşümün çok düşük olduğu, hızlı moda ve tüketimin tüm hızıyla devam ettiği bir ortamda sektörün döngüsel ekonomiye geçişini ne derece gerçekçi buluyorsunuz? Hedefe ulaşmadaki gerekli süre ve yatırım nedir? Ne tür işbirlikleri gerekiyor?
Okay, if I understood it right, it is a question of a competition of new textiles made from more sustainable background and the fast fashion. And frankly speaking, first of all, I think these fast fashion companies, because there is some communication already, what I learned, I'm not too happy with that, because if they sell a jean Stategate example for $6.99, their earning is, if there is any, is a few cents. If they can sell the same product for the double of the price, at least their earning is doubling, normally even more. So everyone should have a the intention to grow toward, but this will not be the only one. You will have increase in legal aspects which will play a role. I'm not a friend of too many legal interactions, but in this case, in some cases, it will not work differently. So we will ban the export of textiles. This will make available the recycled materials to a better price. The second is all the textile importers to the European Union has to obey the same rules as the exports there. It's, for example, the so-called Green Claim Directive, which is at the moment being implemented by the European Union. And this is saying, you have to follow certain rules. And these rules are not only for European companies, they are also for importing companies. And what is a very important point is you have more communication. I talk about that communication can be a key factor. If you can create something with a better optimization of the process with communication. And communication is that the people who are creating the old textiles and the people who are creating new textile has to talk to each other. At the moment, they don't know each other even. They don't know. A designer for new clothes have never heard of a collecting and sorting company. And the machine builders, they don't even talk openly together. And in a country aspect, I see Europe has some countries where the textile industry may come back, but definitely not to the value we may need. And that is something where, frankly speaking, I see a certain aspect and advantage, for example, to textile companies in Turkey, because Turkey is very close to Europe. And in competition to countries like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Thailand, and China, you have the ecological advantage that you are much closer and that we can talk, we can call each other, we can talk, and that is something, if we use that we will have new products and the market is ready for that. So we have to show it and we have to do it by working together.
Teşekkürler. Bir diğer sorumuz, gerçi İngilizce olarak geldi ama ben tekrar Türkçe söyleyeyim. Siz de konuşmacımıza İngilizce olarak tercüme edersiniz Hurşide Hanım. Evet, burada anladığım kadarıyla teknik tekstillerin geri kazanımı konusunda piyasa ne zaman odaklanabilir ve bu geçiş esnasında hangi faktörler önemli rol oynayabilir? Sorumuz bu şekilde.
Okay, if I understand it right, it's the question of technical textiles.
Yeah.
Technical textiles is, as you may have learned, up to 50% of the waste, which is really there. So it is doubling the available waste. And in technical textiles, you can find other solutions. For example, we have one project just at the moment, just to give you this example, with the building sector. The building sector is even worse in the CO2 balance worldwide. They are responsible for 40% of the negative CO2 footprint in the world. So we have to do something in building. And in building, it means you have concrete or other building materials which can be replaced by others. The one way is replacing it by biomass, for example, wood or others. The other thing is to use it in a composite. So you can add fibers to concrete And then you have the new formula that fiber plus concrete is not 1 + 1, but it is more than 2. It is creating more value. And the good thing is concrete has a specific weight of 2000 grams per cubic centimeter. Fibers have 1.4 grams per cubic centimeter. And by that, as you have the very important advantage that you can replace by bonding between concrete and fiber. You get much lighter products. There are huge volumes which can go to that value, and you have to look at new properties which are available. You have better acoustic values, you have better thermal insulation, things like that. So you have to work and develop your product, and especially in the technical sectors, it is in certain cases much easier than garment, because garment is a very tough market in terms of economics. And the technical values, if you find a new application, it can be, especially from the economical side, be a good thing. And that is where we are working for. We have a lot of examples which we can show you that this can work.
Evet, sanırım yanıt bu şekilde. Bir diğer sorumuz şöyle. Tekstil atıklarının tekstil sektörü dışında geri kazanımı ve kullanımı olanakları ne kadar etkili olur?
Yeah, the point is, first of all, to use it outside the textile sector makes sense. I've given you the example of the building sector, but there are also others where you can get use of it. If we use different methods, the very special with textile recycling is that it is nearly the only sector where you have to look at the length of the material, because the typical procedure of recycling is shredding and then start separating whatever. But if you have shredded the fibers, they have lost their value. So that is completely different. So we cannot learn a lot from this type, but we can, of course, learn a lot from plastic recycling. So the question of polyester recycling in chemical is very close to the chemical recycling of plastic materials. But the problem is, unfortunately, in textile, it is more difficult. First of all, if you have polyester from a technical application, it's polyester with a few additives. In textile, you have titan dioxide in it for bleaching. You have a lot of different values, and you need a very high average polymerization length. So it is, unfortunately, the input is a bit more difficult, and the application is asking for other things. So we can learn, and we can what you can do, of course, you can take polyester fibers, blend it with other, then you make something out of it, which is a park bench or a chair or whatever. There are nice examples of that, but the economical balance is normally not that nice. Because these are low-cost material, low-cost products, and but it is not a general recipe. You have to look, and there are a lot of new products on the market which you can address, and you have to find the ways. But you have no competitor. If you make just take an example in the textile. If you make a yarn for a shirt, combed cotton number metric 50 or higher,
the values have not changed in the last 25 years, which you have to fulfill. So it is a very tough competition. But if you go to a technical application, you normally have no benchmark. You can develop your own, so you have more possibilities to develop a new product. And that is the advantage, and why it makes sense to also concentrate on technical products.
Evet, teşekkürler. Şimdi son olarak iki sorumuz var. Bunlardan bir tanesi şöyle. Gerçi bu sorunun cevabı ile ilgili bir takım hususları Profesör Schlichter daha önceki sorularda kısmen yanıtladı ama ben yine de soracağım. Soru şöyle. Düşük kaliteli giysilerin geri dönüştürülmesi ne kadar yararlı ve hangi alanlara yönlendirilmesi daha mantıklıdır? Tekstil ürünlerinin geri dönüşümünde en önemli faktör olarak neleri dikkate almak gerekiyor?
Regarding the coloring or in general? I did not get the right question. Is it concerning the color or is it in general?
Genel.
Okay, I think what I've already communicated is we have to create new knowledge. To make a yarn, to take that example, from recycled material, is you need more knowledge to make it than from virgin materials. So we have to learn to adapt our knowledge, which means in the one way, you have to be ready. It is not like you have done it all the last 20 years. You have to change it. You have to be ready to take new approaches. But the good thing is, in the end, you can get new products with a new market, because let's say a standard yarn for a standard application, sorry to say, everyone can do that. But if you go from recycling, if you look at the brands, for example, in the big brands, they are looking for companies who are able to create new materials. There are so many open questions which are not answered, and the only way is to solve these in cooperation. And we need to learn to talk in the complete row, so with everyone in the manufacturing chain. And we cannot forget the customer. The customer has changed. The customer is not going to the big shop and buying his or her clothing by looking at it. The customer is more and more buying in internet, online. They are, if we look at companies like Shein, Temu, they are using new software applications to learn from the customer. When you enter these software applications, in the moment you enter, the product is not even ready. They learn from your answers how to adapt it. And that is something we need to learn also about that, because without the customer, it will not work. And on the one hand, we have the people buying more and more from fast fashion. On the other hand, we have an increasing knowledge. If you look at, there was a questionnaire from Price Waterhouse, 80% of the European customers wants to have more sustainable clothes. Okay, unfortunately, they don't want to pay more for it, and it is something, but there is something you can rely on that. And I talk a lot to young people, students in university and so on. There is an increasing market. We only have to learn how to address this. This is also a question where we need to do communication with this sector of the value chain.
Evet, teşekkürler. Evet, son sorumuzda şöyle, Avrupa ya da Amerika menşeli büyük volümde tekstil alımı yapan firmalar, ürünün üretiminde kullanılan boya ve kimyasallar için değişik standartlar kullanıyorlar. Dolayısıyla geri dönüşüm için toplanan tekstil ürünlerini buna göre nasıl ayıracağız? Sorumuz bu. Sanırım bir ihracatçı firmamızdan geliyor, yetkilisinden geliyor sorumuz.
I think what you have touched by that is we have one of the key elements is to adapt the sorting of textiles to the final use. At the moment, this manual sorting is not creating a very good sorting quality, and they have 40 different ways. They first sort for color, then they sort for other things, and we have to learn. Just giving you an example, when you have a used trouser, jeans, if this is used and have a hole near the knee, you can sell it as second hand still, and you label it by vintage and it's still okay. But if the same cut or damage is on the backside, you cannot use it anymore. And this is something the automatic sorting has to detect, because this knowledge is only available by a few trained persons, and these you cannot pay them anymore. So you need to learn by that, and therefore we see that the sorting is a key factor in creating better quality, which is finally leading to better final quality of the products.
Evet, teşekkürler yanıtınız için. Sanırım katılımcılarımızdan başka sorumuz yok. Evet, bence gayet güzel bir toplantı oldu. Profesör Şilişler, size Ege Hazır Giyim ve Konfeksiyon İhracatçıları adına çok teşekkür ediyorum. Bu konuşma davetini kabul ettiniz, emek harcadınız ve çok güzel bir sunum yaptınız. Tabii katılımcılarımızın soruları da olayı farklı yönlere bizi sevk etti. Yani sonuçta gördüğümüz kadarıyla bu geri kazanım konusunda yapılacak çok şeyler var. Çok önü açık bir konu ve buna da ihtiyacımız var aslında. Bu konuda gerek firmaların gerekse üniversitelerin çok değişik ve kapsamlı araştırmalar yapacağına inanıyoruz. Bu konuda zaten önemli gayretler var. Ve Augsburg Üniversitesi'nde böyle bir geri kazanım laboratuvarının kurulmuş olması da çok güzel bir girişim, yerinde bir girişim. Öncelikle sizleri bunu gerçekleştirdiğiniz için kutluyorum Profesör Schlichter. Ümit ediyorum yeni yapılacak çalışmalarla bu geri kazanım konusuna yeni rotalar çizilecektir. Daha verimli, daha etkin faaliyetler sürdürülecektir. Evet, başka soru da olmadığına göre ben toplantımızı burada kapatmak istiyorum. Başka bir toplantıda görüşmek üzere diyorum. Bu arada tabii ki bu toplantının gerçekleşmesinde çevirmenimiz Sayın Hurşit Tacıoğlu'nun da büyük payı var. Kendisine de çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Evet Profesör Şilişler, size de iyi akşamlar diliyorum ve tekrar teşekkürlerimi sunuyorum. Başka aktivitelerde görüşmek üzere.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, you have my contact data, or from Mesocetin, just go in contact, ask questions. We are happy for any sort of cooperation. And the same to you. Have a nice day and evening today, and all the best to you. Thank you.
Sağ olun. Teşekkürler. Biz teşekkür ederiz.